Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, we start off with breaking news out of Laurel County. That's where Kentucky State Police are investigating a deadly officer-involved shooting. The Laurel County coroner tells us a Laurel County Sheriff's deputy shot and killed a suspect. The coroner says his office was called to a home on Taylor Bridge Road around 1:30 this afternoon. He did not say what led up to the shooting, but adds no officers were hurt during the incident. The coroner is not releasing the name of the suspect at this time. WYMT's Zach Hawk is on his way to the scene right now, and we hope to have much more from him coming up tonight at 6. Another developing story we're following this afternoon in Floyd County. It's an update to a story we told you about last week. We now know whose body was found in the Leviza Fork of the Big Sandy River on May 25th. Kentucky State Police confirmed the body is that of 54-year-old Gordon McKinney, who was reported missing by his family after not being seen since May 6th. They add the investigation into his death remains ongoing, and we'll update you on both of these breaking stories as we learn more on WYMT.com. One Eastern Kentucky Volunteer Fire Department stayed busy during the Memorial Day weekend. Bell County Volunteer Fire Department officials tell us they responded to 6 calls during the holiday. Officials say 3 of those involved ATV accidents, saying riders were not wearing helmets, and they even had to fly one person to a hospital in Knoxville.
We would probably say to be aware of your surroundings. And sometimes that can be a danger in and of itself, because I've drove this road 100 times, but someone we don't know is on your side of the highway or someone's backing out.
Officials say if you drive or ride in an ATV, make sure someone knows where you are so they can call for help if you need it. With Mental Health Awareness Month coming to a close, experts remind parents and caregivers about the importance of talking to their kids about mental health. WYMT's Alyssa Williams has more on why creating this dialogue can be both life-changing and life-saving.
Aiming to break the stigma surrounding mental health.
We are working to make that better, and we have come a long way, but I think that we need to continue to push that.
With recent trends in children's mental health, professionals are encouraging parents to create a dialogue with their kids, letting them know they have somewhere safe to turn to in trying times, and that they do not have to face their mental health struggles alone.
So it is important that we talk about it, because the trends will only continue unless we start doing something to change.
Pediatric psychologist Dr. Ariana Hoet says talking to your kids about mental health can be done in 3 steps.
First is start the conversation. How do I even get them talking?
During that conversation, the next step is to talk with your children in a way that is fun, reassuring, and rewarding, so they can feel comfortable talking about these things again in the future.
And then the third part is, how do I give advice? How do I ask more questions? And how do I set limits and boundaries?
Helping to equip parents and caregivers with the tools they need to promote open and honest conversations surrounding mental health. Alyssa Williams, WYMT Mountain News.
With many Kentucky schools out for summer break now, some children might have limited access to mental health resources, but we have other resources for parents and caregivers linked on our website at WYMT.com.
Plenty of sunshine around the mountains here on our Tuesday afternoon. The only thing is we do have a few of those fair weather clouds bubbling up this afternoon. Man, it's a toasty one yet again. Outside, high knob camera UVA-wise, the sun is shining, but we do have a few of those fair weather clouds that have kind of worked their way up this afternoon. 79 there. That's one of our cooler spots. Downtown Whitesburg, cloud over the sun right now. Otherwise, looking much nicer as we head into the daytime hours here. Mid-80s out there right now, but notice that dew point at 65. It's mild and muggy, which means we've got that feels like temperature closer to 86. That's nowhere close to the warmest we've got. How about 87, Prestonsburg and Jackson, 88, Monticello, Irvin, up toward Ashland, 89 right now, Manchester and in Wayne, West Virginia. So it is a toasty one out there. No cooling showers to cool us off. It's a clean sweep on pinpoint Doppler, and we have to go up into portions of Illinois before we run into a few of those showers, though we'll have to keep an eye on a couple of those into Southwest Virginia to see if they grow a little bit more upscale. On that WYMT weather app, keep it handy because you might need it over the next couple of days. We're clear tonight. However, we reintroduce the chance for showers as soon as tomorrow. The very latest on that's coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. With Americans facing record high prices heading into the summer, the Consumer Confidence Index fell slightly this month. Today, President Biden met with his Treasury Secretary and the Federal Reserve Chairman as he lays out his plan to try and get inflation under control. CBS's Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
From the gas pump
it's really ridiculous
to the airport, summer travelers cannot escape soaring inflation and higher prices.
Every time we look up the prices, they're getting higher by the day.
President Biden has made addressing inflation his top economic priority, underscored in his Tuesday meeting with Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell.
My plan is to address inflation. It starts with a simple proposition: respect the Fed. They have a laser focus on addressing inflation, just like I am.
The Fed chairman has signaled he will continue to support raising interest rates until prices fall to a stable level. The Consumer Price Index hit 8.3% in April, while oil prices ticked up Tuesday after the European Union announced an embargo on most Russian oil imports. In an op-ed, President Biden also detailed his plan to curb inflation, which includes fixing supply chains, improving infrastructure, and paying down the federal deficit.
There isn't a pain-free way of addressing where we're at now.
George Washington University professor Tara Sinclair says right now economists are looking at two possible scenarios for what happens next.
There's arguments that we might be concerned about inflation for some time to come, or that we might be facing a recession in the next 6 to 12 to 18 months.
Professor Sinclair says she believes the picture will become clearer in the next few months, but the real economic impact may not be known until next year. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
President Biden also wrote in his op-ed that he'll continue doing what he can on his own to lower prices, but he's also calling on Congress to pass some of his social agenda items, which include clean energy tax credits, plans to lower prescription drug and housing costs, and tax code reforms. As the nation is dealing with a decades-high inflation spike, spending habit trends among consumers are split. In short, wealthier people are spending more while mostly everyone else is cutting back. Macy's and Nordstrom both reported strong sales during the latest quarter compared to the same time frame last year. In contrast, other stores known for less expensive products say customers are buying fewer items, buying cheaper private label brands, and adding fewer items to their shopping carts. The Great Reshuffling has been a huge reason why home prices have been skyrocketing. New research shows that home prices jumped 23.8% during the pandemic, and that 15% of that growth was due to remote work as people gain more control over choosing where to work. Many people turned to warmer climates around the Sun Belt, which was a significant driver in prices. By the end of the fourth quarter of 2021, the median single-family home costs in cities like Austin and Phoenix grew by 26%. While working from home boomed during the pandemic, many are returning to the office, and it's taking a big bite out of their wallet. The main reason? Those gas prices, which are still climbing. The average U.S. commute now costs an extra $35 a month compared to pre-COVID, but people living in major cities are likely spending even more, and many are rethinking their working arrangement entirely. An international survey conducted last November found 64% of workers would consider looking for a new job if forced to return full-time.
It doesn't make sense for me at the moment for $19 an hour, so I'm going to have to look for a different job.
Workers are looking at it from a standpoint of, can I afford to take that new opportunity, or can I afford to stay if required to go back to the office?
Some businesses are now offering gas stipends or pay bumps. However, the U.S. government predicts the average household will still spend hundreds of dollars more on gas this year. For a lot of families, especially those with lower incomes, that could be a big chunk of any potential annual savings. Let's head over to Wall Street now on this Tuesday. That feels like a Monday for many of us. The Dow closes down today more than 223 points. We'll have more financial news in our next half hour. But straight ahead here on First at 4, a look at how Iceland is working to boost tourism using humor.
And we head into the month of June tomorrow, and it'll be a scorcher as we do, but more summer weather is on the way as well. Details are coming up.